Welcome back, BettorOff fans. Episode 15 here. We took a 1 week upload break because I was out of town, so we couldn't coordinate it properly. But we're back to giving out the weekly hockey content. So we're gonna jump right into things. One team that we've been dying to talk about the past couple weeks. Okay, this team has won 2 games in their last 20. Just a disaster, losing guys left and right. The Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
Officially the front runner for that number 1 pick. Shane Wright, maybe. Who knows?
Possibly. I don't know. He might drop.
Agreed. But let's talk about the Habs.
I mean, listen. First of all, I don't feel bad for the Habs fans because they just went to the Stanley Cup final. So that's
Very
first,
true.
That's first thing. So I'll never feel bad for them.
That's true.
However, I feel bad for the team in general because they have not had good injury luck this year. They just lost this week alone. They just lost for each guy is out for minimum two weeks.
Long term.
They lost David Savard. He's the one that's out for 8 weeks. Drouin a couple weeks and Dvorak a couple weeks. Add that on to the list of Price, Weber. I think Edmonton's hurt.
Byron.
These guys are just beat down. And now, I mean, I think it's kind of good in a sense. You get you lose all these guys this year. You get a high pick. You get a good prospect. Next year, you come back. All these guys are healthy, besides Weber. But everybody else is healthy, and you have a good amount of your team back, and you'll be like a mid-tier team, and they'll just keep climbing each year.
Yeah. So here's the thing: the Habs, they have a bunch of guys that are playoff guys. Guys that teams would trade for. A guy like Brendan Gallagher. I mean, it's kind of a tough contract to take in because of the term. The money's not bad. It's somewhere around 6-7.
No, it's around 5-6.
No, you got to re-sign. It's close. It's 6.
Okay, you're right. You got to re-sign.
But the Habs can retain some cap. You look at a team like Arizona. They trade guys. They retain cap. They get picks. They get even more picks. The Habs should be doing this. Trade Gallagher. Trade Jeff Petrie. Lakeinen, apparently the asking price is crazy. Ben Sherratt.
Yeah.
They could rack up picks, and then by July 1st, after the draft is done, and they make that first overall pick, expecting they make that first overall pick, Habs are in a great position, and I think they should take 1 more year to complete a proper rebuild. Unlike they've done in the past, they usually try to do a quick retool because their fan base is so dedicated. They don't want to have more than 1 losing season. Mm-hmm. But this is the time. They just hire new staff. This is a time you have a proper rebuild, 1 to 2 years, and you rebuild this team.
And I mean, it's not like they have a far way to go because they have guys like Suzuki's already reached his peak. Caulfield's got to get better. I personally am not a big Cole Caulfield fan, but I mean, you have guys to build around. I love Romanov on the. Is his name Alexei Romanov? Is that his name?
Alexei.
Yeah, I love Romanov. So
he's good.
You can build around him. Josh Anderson's a stud. You have guys.
You do.
Christian Dvorak's a good player, but I think there's guys, like you said, like Gallagher, like Edmondson, like Jeff Petrie. These guys are playoff players.
Yeah.
Also, the minute I hear Ben Sherratt could be traded for first, I don't know why the heck they didn't pull the trigger, because I think he's terrible. I do not think he is that good. I think he's a turnover machine.
He's a playoff guy. He's big. He's hard to play.
He's a turnover machine. He turns over the puck 24/7.
Yeah, no.
I don't think he's worth a first. I think he's worth a second, maybe a third.
A third. That's second.
Second, okay.
I would say second.
But I mean, Lekkonen's worth probably about a third. He's like
third.
A low-end
third line.
Apparently
they're getting offered first for Lekkonen. That's why they bumped him up to the first line to showcase him. And the same reason they have Ben Sherratt on their first power play who could barely make a pass. Really? Anyways, it's just kind of odd. But, I mean, they have the potential. If I'm a Habs fan, I'm pumped because you just got rid of your management, the whole management.
Yes. Besides Ducharme, who needs to go.
But Ducharme, he carried them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Made the cup final. You can't hate the guy. He's really not done a bad job.
Yeah,
but, like I said, they have the potential to have a really, really good rebuild. I mean, like you said, Shane Wright, I don't think he's the guy either. I think he's going to drop, and I think guys will bump him. Yeah. And it's scary to me. I'm not even a Habs fan. And I'm like, the Habs are going to take a guy, a top prospect, and they're just going to ruin him.
Yeah, just like they're Caulfield.
They're going to fall under the pressure and they're going to ruin him. And that's how it goes with
There's
every
this guy,
top guy.
I saw his top guy. His name is Lavoie.
Oh, Savoie.
Savoie. That's who they're going to go for because he's French.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're probably going to do. I would like to
But he's also tearing up the league.
I know he is. That's the thing. He's also very good. But I would like to see him be available maybe at the second overall pick and them not to take him. Just to see, we're not going to take that French guy.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be like that anymore moving forward.
Maybe not because Jeff Gordon. But go to their goalie situation.
Oh,
I
it's
think
bad.
First of all, Carey Price was watching the game the other night. He was in attendance.
Speaking of Carey Price, he has a press conference today. We're filming on a Sunday.
Yeah.
He has a press conference at 6:15.
Oh, does he?
Just him and the manager.
Oh, so he might be back.
No, I don't think he'll be back. My dad's a big Habs fan. He thinks he's just going to detail the injury, the recovery time, go into things about his personal life. Honestly, I mean, I personally think there's a chance he just calls it quits
And retires?
And says, guys, like the injury, it's been a tough road. I need to focus on my family for now. One of those speeches, and I could see that'd be legendary.
That'd be heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, but just like
Like Carey Price is like, you think of the Habs, the first player that comes to your mind is Carey Price.
Yep.
What
That's
would
why
they
people
do from
became
there?
fans?
Yeah.
What would you do? Total rebuild.
That's it.
Because the only thing that's keeping them together is that Carey Price has a few more good prime years of hockey. That's the only thing that's keeping them together. Because once Price is gone, you saw who their goalies are: Primo and Montembeault.
Where's Jake Allen?
Jake Allen's hurt.
Oh,
Jake
but
Allen's
he
not
can go for a first.
Yeah, he
because
could.
he's probably one of the best backup goalies in the NHL.
Send him to Edmonton.
Oh, there you go. So he'd start in Edmonton.
He would start.
And that's the thing. So, I mean, I don't know. The Habs, it's good. They're going to get a lot of picks. I mean, I think they could also trade Carey Price. No, if he's okay?
Maybe in the offseason, if his injury reports are okay.
Why? Why don't you trade him to, let's say...
retain cap.
Why don't you trade him to Edmonton, take back Koskinen's terrible contract. Yeah. They probably have another... I think Chris Russell's making like $4 million still, if I'm not wrong. No, don't take Nuge, bro. They want Nuge for the playoffs. Someone. So you take Chris Russell making $4 million, and take Koskinen making $4 million. That's $8 million you're taking back.
Okay, and what do you get back?
Then you get back also a bunch of picks.
Price should not be traded for picks. He's still one of the best
Okay, then you got a pick
league.
and a prospect. They still have guys.
No,
maybe Evan Bouchard.
A roster.
Evan Bouchard.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
A first round pick.
Evan Bouchard's a great idea.
Yeah, I know.
Evan Bouchard, a first, another first. If you're retaining all
but
that
you also
cap,
remember, Carey Price is making $10 million for the next couple, 5 years.
But you're also taking back Koskinen, who has another year left of this.
Okay, but you're rebuilding, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm just saying, Carey Price, the value shouldn't go down because the Habs are looking to maybe rebuild. It's still one of the best goalies in the league.
I know, but when you're trading for the guy, you're also trading for a guy who has $10 million for the next 5-6 years.
Yeah,
and he's gonna get hurt.
But what I was saying is that they should just retain some of his cap.
Okay, maybe.
Anyways, a team that they played last night.
Speaking of, Edmonton, is that what you're gonna say? Okay, yeah.
They played Edmonton last night.
Right.
Got slapped 7-2.
7-2. Yeah.
And Vander Kane signed with the Edmonton Oilers. Vander Kane, 1 year, $1 million. Sort of like a tryout, a showcase. He's put on the top line with McDavid and Yamamoto. He performed. He had a goal, +2. But, he started off, he didn't look good. He looked slow, was turning the puck over. Him and McDavid did not look good together at one point. But, listen, he scored a goal. He played big minutes. And, they just added a top 6 forward essentially for free.
Listen, I think that's actually a very good way to put it. The thing that worries me, I'm not sure I mentioned this last episode, but guys that come and sign, don't play half the year, and sign a contract and play the second half of the year, tend to struggle. We have Patrick Laine, who did it a couple of years ago with Winnipeg. We have William Nylander, who did it with Toronto. Then we have Tuukka Rask, who's doing it this year. All these guys that sign, and Pierre-Luc Dubois, all these guys that don't start the season and end up, half the season, end up struggling, and they end up not doing well for the first year. However, the second year they tear it up, and then et cetera, et cetera. And I think Vander Kane could be one of those guys. I think it'll help them next year and long term.
It'd be interesting to see how he goes through this year because, like we said, it's a 1 year deal. So he really has 40 games to showcase himself. That's it. Maybe the playoffs if he gets in there. But we talk about this every second episode or so. This team has so much potential, and the one thing they're lacking is goaltending, but also depth.
No, their depth. Look, I looked at their lines yesterday.
Yeah, because they have Nugent, Hopkins, and Hyman on the third line, but that's not how it ever is, and it's not how it's going to be. They're always going to end up with Nuge, Draisaitl, McDavid in the top 6, and their third and fourth lines suck.
No, it doesn't suck their depth. If I had Zach Kassian on my third line, that's not bad.
Zach Kassian sucks at hockey.
Okay.
He's only good because he put him with McDavid and he scores.
He's not that bad.
He's horrible.
Whatever. I hate talking about the Oilers because I think they just beat down all the bad teams. Whenever they play the bad teams, they do well.
And they're horrible.
Yeah, whatever. Next thing. Speaking of bad teams, I want to talk about the situation as a Senators fan with Drake Matheson and Aaron Dell this week. Is that what it was?
Dell.
Is it Dell or Hill? Or Hill's on the right. You're lucky we're not allowed to swear on this because I'd be ripping this guy to shreds. That was the dirtiest, most uncalled for play I have ever seen. Drake Batherson is having a career year. He was on pace to put up 80-plus points. Just signed his big deal. He was going to go to his first ever All-Star game. He was going to meet all the boys, McDavid, Matthews, Crosby, Ovi, Malkin. Like, he was going to go to the All-Star game. Oh, sorry, not Malkin. But you know what I mean.
The boys.
He was going to meet all these guys. He was having a career year. And for Aaron Dell to do that was just so uncalled for. Batherson was going for the puck. Not even tried to avoid him.
Oh, for sure.
And Aaron Dell just bodied him. Didn't even send an apology out. Like, it's not, it's different if it was a player because Batherson's expected to be hit. You're not expected to be hit when you go near the goalie. You're expected, what we've been taught since we were a young age is to avoid the goalie, avoid contact at all times because they won't hit us back. Him hitting him, I don't know how he only got 3 games and how he did not get a fine. He should have gotten fined. He should have gotten, I think, 10-plus games. Or then, if you want to let this happen in NHL, let the players start hitting the goalie and see that goes over. Because that was unacceptable.
There we go. That's a fine way to put it.
Pissed me off.
But he's a repeated offender. He's done this before.
Has he?
Yeah, he's done it one more time. I forget. He was on maybe San Jose is when he did it. But anyways, like you said, Batherson, the guy's having a career year. He's on the verge of getting paid. No,
he just got paid.
He just got paid. There you go. But I mean, it sucks for the guy. Like you said, how excited are you as a young guy? You're having a great year. You're going to the All-Star game. You're done. He's done for months.
He's not going to probably play the rest of the year.
No,
it's a high ankle sprain. It's hard to come back from.
6 to 8 weeks in football.
And they're not gonna push him because if he's hurt, they're just be like, okay, we'll shut you down and have you play next year because we suck anyways.
But you know what? It's crazy because let's say Batherson did that to Aaron Dell.
Yeah.
The whole what team's he on? Buffalo.
Yeah.
The whole Buffalo team would go after Batherson. Every chance they get would hit him. The thing is, you can't go after a goalie.
You can't.
So I mean, it sucks because if I was playing on the centers and I was their coach, I'm saying, hey, Austin Watson, go take care of him. You
tell him to run the goalie.
Run the goalie. Just run the goalie.
Run the goalie. Put him on Sadford, Kachuk. Put all the boys on.
No, not even.
Absolute line bro.
Austin Watson, the guy who sucks at hockey with 2 missing front teeth. Just go. Take care of the goalie. That's it. The guy's Aaron Dell is not valuable to them whatsoever. Yeah, other than the fact that he's the only healthy goalie other their 6 goalies. But I mean, it sucks for Batherson. It sucks for the Sens. Their morale just went down.
Yeah, it just sucks. Listen, and honestly, Ottawa was actually on a bit of a streak. They're 6-4 in their last 10 before that injury, and then they just lost the next 2. Keith Andel broke the Ironman streak.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say another guy. We're talking about missing games. A guy that never misses games.
Oh yeah.
Broke the record. I forget the amount of games, but he just passed
965.
Jarvis, maybe.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways,
965.
But there was a phase last year where the Florida GM wanted to trade him.
Yeah.
And he said. He threatened to not bench him, but just
healthy scratch him.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, bench him. Bench Yandel so that Yandel, wants to get out so he could not lose that streak. But he ended up playing. But it's crazy. This guy has played over 1,000 straight games.
No,
and someone what?
No, 900.
900, whatever. Yeah. And someone who's very close, a guy that how is he even up there? Phil Kessel.
Oh yeah, Phil Kessel's up there.
The guy who
the
does
hot dog diet.
Yeah. If you're looking at a guy to demonstrate what an NHL quality hockey player would look like, Phil Kessel is the last guy you're putting up.
This guy's legit. This guy's probably never touched a weight in his life.
No. He sits there with a bag of chips and a Diet Coke.
Dude, Phil Kessel, that's true, eh? He hasn't been hurt. He never gets hurt.
Never.
It's insane.
I think he's at 900 games.
He's close. He's on that list.
Very close.
I saw it too, yeah.
That's the one thing that shocked me. I was like, Phil Kessel? What?
That's true. Where did Phil Kessel go? That's true. I did not know that he was that good, that he hasn't gotten hurt.
Crazy.
Something I also want to talk about.
Another quick injury, maybe?
Right. Erik Karlsson.
Just a note.
Sucks. My favorite player ever. He's out a couple months.
Couple to few.
I think he's going to be out for a while. San Jose. Who knows what these guys are going to do?
Erik Karlsson was having a great season.
He was.
Resurgence.
He wasn't having anything close to what he was before.
Well, no kidding. He was the best in the league for years.
A player who's giving Ovi a run for his money at MVP. Jonathan Huberdeau. I know we talk about Florida every episode.
But let's not talk about Florida. Let's talk about Huberdeau.
Jonathan Huberdeau is a stud. This guy, I don't understand how he is not seen as a top 10 player in the NHL. Something I was debating with people the other day is people tend to now talk about McKinnon, Matthews, McDavid. But you know who we need to start talking about more? We need to start talking about the guys like Crosby and Malkin, who's still getting it done. Ovechkin and Backstrom, who's still getting it done. Kopitar and Doughty, who's still getting it done. Those guys, those three duos who I just named, Patrick Kane and Taves, they fall
Patrick
off.
Kane, though. Patrick Kane.
Okay, add Patrick Kane there. But those guys, I'm sorry, but if you came up to me and said, who would you rather on your team? Draisaitl and McDavid or any of those three groups? I'm choosing any of those three groups. I'm sorry.
On.
Yes.
Come
these
on.
guys have been
You're
doing it for so
fooling
long.
yourself.
If career-wise? Career-wise.
What do you mean? Who would
Dude.
you rather on a team? You're not looking at 10 years ago.
I'm looking, if you
No.
said how their careers, 1,000%.
If you told me you rather Crosby over Draisaitl, fine, because Crosby's a
Bro,
winner.
these
But
guys
you
are
can't tell me
winners.
you rather any of those guys than McDavid. You
Yes,
can't.
bro.
On your team right now.
I would rather Crosby
You rather
than McDavid.
Nicholas Backstrom.
Okay, not Backstrom, but I'm
You
saying,
rather Drew
for the duo wise, I would definitely rather those duos over Crosby.
No.
Why?
I mean,
I
what
have
do you
McDavid
mean, why?
and Draisaitl.
You rather...
Because these guys are winners and they've been doing it forever. You don't realize how good they are.
I realize how good they are, but you're clearly not realizing how good of a hockey player Connor McDavid is.
I know he's amazing.
The best ever.
Bro,
He's
that's not
already
the
the
point.
most talented player ever in history.
But that's not the point. He doesn't get the job done. He doesn't get the job done in the
but
playoffs.
Okay, but did Ovechkin get the job done? Did Backstrom get the
He
job
ended up
done?
getting the job done at one
Yeah,
point.
after 10 years.
Yeah, Crosby and Malkin. Look at them.
Okay, Crosby and Malkin.
I would rather Crosby and Malkin over
Again.
Draisaitl and McDavid.
You rather... Okay, forget the duo.
I'd rather right now Barkov and Huberdeau over Draisaitl and McDavid.
Okay, but you can't just bring in Barkov and Huberdeau.
I'm just saying. I don't think...
You're
but
talking
I
about
can't-
winners.
Yeah.
You're talking about guys who have done it for years. You can't just... You can't
I think
tell-
Draisaitl and McDavid are overrated. That's just my
Okay,
thing.
they're fine. They're overrated. As maybe a duo, they're maybe overrated. As maybe winners, they're maybe overrated. But as individual hockey players, they're not overrated. McDavid's by far the best player in the league. By far, it's not close.
Okay, but they get way too much hype. Because these guys that are older, these guys are 34 and up, and they're still doing it. They're still doing it like they're 20.
Okay, but
it's insane, and nobody
I'm not
talks about
disagreeing
it.
with you. I'm just saying you're lying to yourself if you tell me you rather Evgeny Malkin and Nick Backstrom.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm
Okay,
saying
you rather the
Crosby
duo,
and
fine.
Malkin than Draisaitl and McDavid.
Okay, fine.
I would. 1,000%. Hands down.
No.
Bro, I'm sorry, but Draisaitl and McDavid are legit.
Okay, so you're telling me you rather Ovi and Backstrom than them too?
I mean, it'd be
Take
a
that
toss-up.
back. Come on.
Okay.
Backstrom.
Okay, maybe not. But
Nick Backstrom. The guy's played 12 games this year.
if I did in their prime,
Okay, fine. In their prime.
yeah.
Okay,
In
that's
their
fine.
prime, yeah. And people don't talk about it enough.
You know, I remember because my brother's the biggest Caps fan in the world. And I remember when they won that cup after years and years of losing, and it was the best feeling ever.
Okay.
But no. I'm adding to your point. Nick Backstrom was elite. Ovechkin was at his peak. So if you're going in their prime, fine. I won't give you much hell because that's a fair statement. But you're talking about right now, you rather Ovi and Backstrom.
Okay. Who's in the playoff spot right now? Are Draisaitl and McDavid, or is it Ovi and Backstrom? Who's in the playoff spot?
Backstrom's played 12 games. You can't even consider
Okay,
him
but
there.
who's in the playoff spot? The bottom line is the guys that I mentioned get their besides LA because they went through a rebuild. LA was pushing it, but
they
those
have a good team.
those two
Washington's
Washington
a good
Pittsburgh,
team.
dude, they're not significantly better than Edmonton
Fair.
on paper.
Okay,
On paper,
fair.
they're not that much better.
So you're telling me if you take Ovi and Backstrom and you
And put them on Edmonton.
with instead of McDavid and Draisaitl, you're telling me Edmonton would be better? And
I
you're
think
telling me
so.
Washington would
Yeah.
be worse?
Yeah,
I
don't know about Washington would be worse.
I think Washington would be 1,000 times better.
I don't think Washington would be worse, but I think Edmonton would for sure be better because Backstrom makes guys around him better. I'm
You're
telling
telling me Connor McDavid doesn't make anyone around him better?
he doesn't have that trait. He doesn't
See, like the pass.
Crosby has that trait where if you
Yes,
put
Crosby has that
Gensel and
trait.
Rust with him, look at these guys now. Matthews doesn't have that trait. That's
Matthews
that's why he's not elite. McKinnon, I think, could have that trait, but he's always hurt, so you can't even
He's also
tell.
just playing with the top guys.
Draisaitl and McDavid, like these guys haven't. They haven't.
McDavid does. Draisaitl doesn't. Look, remember the point where McDavid was putting up 1 to 2 points a game with Puljujarvi and I don't even remember
It was
who.
Nugent
Cassian.
Hopkins. No, it was Nugent Hopkins.
Okay, there you
Nugent
go.
Hopkins is a pretty good player. I'm sorry, but he's a good player.
He is the definition of.
Bottom line, at the end of the day, is Draisaitl and McDavid. People need to start putting respect on Crosby and Malkin's name, Backstrom and Ovi's name, and
I don't disagree.
these other older guys who are still getting it done. Now let's go to another team I was talking about, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, you need to win a Stanley Cup in the NHL. You need a trio. A trio has to be There's a lot of things, but one of the things I've kind of noticed, you need a trio. You need the 2 stud forwards.
Okay.
Force him. The 2 stud forwards, the stud D, and the stud goalie.
I don't think so.
That has to be the top tier of your team. Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Fleury.
Okay.
Ovechkin, Backstrom, John Carlson, Braden Holtby. Holtby was elite when he won the cup. I don't even know. Point Kucherov, Hedman, Vasilevsky.
Yes, you're right. But
that's what Edmonton's missing.
I could go through a bunch of teams that have that and are not winning cups and are not making playoffs. You need a third. The Rangers, Zip Panarin, Fox,
They're in a playoff spot.
Shesterkin. Okay, but fine. Anyways, I need a list of teams. But regardless, you're right. You need those 2 top forwards. You need that number 1 D, and you need that number 1 goalie. But you also need a 3rd and 4th line.
Oh yes,
You need depth Ds that are hard to play against, like a Cernak, like a
Yeah, but I'm saying it starts with
You're right.
It starts with
obviously the base. You got to build your base.
You got to build your base. You got the leadership is so important. Like I don't know, man. I just think Crosby and Malkin, they don't get Malkin's actually.
Right. You are right.
So I know, but Malkin is so good.
He's amazing.
He is. So good.
I just listen. The only problem I had with your statement was that, and I stand by it. There's just no way that you rather Backstrom and Ovi than those two, and the other two. Right now, you can't tell me you would. Anyways, you'd be fired as a GM if you took them.
All right.
But anyways, McDavid, I watched his last 2 games, and I never watched McDavid. I see his highlights, but I never watched McDavid.
You're watching him against the Habs
and
the Senators.
Okay, but the guy just, he has the puck on his stick every time he's on the ice, and his explosion. Did you see when he played Nashville? That shootout goal?
Okay, let's
oh my God, he made my man look sour.
Why don't you watch McDavid when he plays an actual good team?
Okay, you'll let me know.
And then we'll see what happens. Okay. Because when he plays these terrible teams is when he lights the lamp. That's why last year he was having a career year because he played Montreal 8 times, played Ottawa 8 times, played Calgary, who was terrible last year 8 times, and Vancouver, who sucked 8 times. When he played Toronto, he had 5 points in 9 games. Bottom line is, this guy's got all the skill in the world. Yeah, he's a stud, but he's not as good as everyone makes it seem.
Okay. I think he's a generational talent. I think right now, let's say he had a cup under his belt. I think he'd be the best ever already at 25 or 26, whatever he is. Once he gets that 1 cup, and he'll get it. All right. Best player of all time.
All right, we'll
no
see
debate.
If he gets that 1 cup.
But I do think Crosby is still, right now,
Crosby's
legacy-wise, is the best player ever.
Yeah,
I still think that.
Crosby
because I don't consider Wayne Gretzky the best ever. If you played in that time, you can't be the best.
If you played with goalies who would go on their knees when you'd shoot it low.
Everything. It was the
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's a good way to end it. We had a good debate there.
Yeah, we did.
Nice.
Did we talk about Huberdeau for MVP?
Yeah.
I think it'll be him or Ovi.
It has to be him or Ovi at this point. I feel like we're missing someone.
Well, I don't know. Last year we said Matthews, but then McDavid.
No, I never said Matthews. You said
that. But Matthews was in the discussion, but then he hurt his wrist,
yeah.
and McDavid took over. So
it's just because Matthews was scoring at a crazy pace.
Maybe okay.
He got hurt, but listen, Huberdeau, it's crazy because Barkov was always considered the underrated guy, the guy that leads that team.
Yeah.
Huberdeau leads that team.
I know.
And there's no debate there. Yeah. Barkov is still a top 10 player in the league, in my opinion. Yeah. Top 10, top 13, and one of the best centers in the league. Most underrated, but Huberdeau, hands down the most underrated, maybe not underrated, underappreciated. No one appreciates how skilled he is.
How good he is.
You watch him in the passes. I think he's one of the top 3 playmakers.
Watching him, Barkov, and Ekblad in overtime.
Yeah, that's scary.
They're so good.
See, that's a guy. Look who he plays with. Sam Bennett is a great hockey player.
Yeah, I know.
Duclair is a great hockey player. But I mean, come on. If you're putting up that many points with those 2 guys, that's MVP worthy. Even Ovi plays with Kuzi, plays with Tom Wilson. But come on.
All right. Well, we're gonna end it off here.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel. Listen on Spotify.
What else is
Instagram.
There?
Instagram. Follow that.
We're gonna be back weekly starting now again. The upload breaks are done. We're gonna be doing this consistently, so stay tuned. Comes out every Tuesday early afternoon. So we enjoy bringing the content, guys. Take care. Have a good weekend.